It's September 22nd, 2025. We're here at the Fig Grove, and it's chilly this morning. It's 46 degrees this morning. The weather is most definitely changing. We're in a fog pattern that's going to burn off here with the next hour. I can see on the other side of the lake, there's sun coming through already. So we're going to go through and just go through what's going on this year. It's been a phenomenal year. Had a mild winter. We had a great Breba season. We've had a fantastic main crop season. It's been really, really warm. I've been growing for 10 years, and this is by far the best year that I've ever seen. So let's go through and take a look at some figs. This is Negron. This went in this year. A small tree. I usually don't put trees this small in, but this one just seemed to be growing really well. And boy, has it loved its time in the orchard. No fig mosaic virus, nice growth. And the thing that I really like is lignification all the way to the tip buds. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. That should overwinter well. This is a variety from Montserrat Ponds called Sucerea. It's supposed to have a good Breba. It had one on it, and I think it dropped it, but it's only spent one winter in ground. So it's digging itself in. Once again, right there, I see lignification all the way to the terminal buds. And in this case, let's see, did I pinch that? Yeah, I've pinched that. You can see where I've pinched. I pinched to slow the growth down so that I could get better lignification. Right now, this is really looking good for 1 year, or one winter, I should say, in ground. Next, we're going to go look at one of my Etnas. Now, this is interesting this year. It looks like I'm going to ripen the whole crop on all my Etnas that are in ground, totally exposed to the elements. That's never happened before, never even close to happening before. So that just speaks to the year we're having. This is Sangue Dolce. Sweet Blood. Beautiful figs on there. And lots of figs. I don't know how many are on here, but a lot. I've just harvested a couple off of this tree. I mean, a couple, like 2. Not very many at all. It's later than my other Etnas, my Crows and my Black Greek Marius, but it's going to work out this year. I mean, you can see, you look at an area where there's one fig there, one there that won't ripen, those green ones. This one has a couple, but you can see the vast majority of the crop is already swelling. And we have about 3 or 4 really nice days, so we should see some good things happening as far as this ripening off. So Sangue Dolce, Mount Etna. All my Etnas ripening the whole crop in ground. Incredible. This is Bill's Comuna. And there's one that's ripening right there, pretty close. And another little small one. And what really excites me about this, because it does have some issues at the base, are these suckers that are turning it into a bush. And I'm all on board with that. We'll go down to Atriano. Now, Atriano just went in ground this year in the spring, and smaller than I typically put my trees in ground, but this is just such an aggressive growing tree. I decided I'm going to put it in ground, and it has not missed a beat. It set figs, but unfortunately, the figs that it set were late when it set them in reference to my other figs. So I think in a normal year, I could be ripening the main crop here on this. This year, we're not going to probably get them to ripen unless it's in October, and then it's a crapshoot. You know, lack of warmth in the daytime, cooler nighttime temperatures, potential of the addition to moisture with rain and condensation in the morning, which can lead to figs that just aren't that great. I've made a comment in the past, October figs suck. And I stand by that. There are exceptions to the rule. The Adriatics seem to handle those cooler temperatures better than other figs. And every now and then you'll just get a couple figs that are just great. But all in all, what happens is the level of sweetness, the bricks in the fig drop. And if you like sweet figs, and I like sweet figs, the figs become blah to me. Green Minchurinska, another one that's got some issues at the base. And I'll be taking the main tree out soon. I've got some beautiful, nice, thick, robust suckers, 5 of them, that are going to become my new bush. And they're doing really great. Look at, they're lignifying all the way up. Not quite on that one. I think we should do well. So we'll try one of these. I had one. There's a bug on that one. You're dead, bug. Anyways, I had one yesterday of the main crop, and just not very good. And I think it relates to this tree being damaged at the base. The figs that I got at the Breba season, the Brebas were really bitter and not very good. And I've had issues with other trees that try to ripen figs when they have that cracking and open bases, that the figs are not good. I've had that happen with Iranian candy. They were horrible. And I cut that tree out, and now I've got some little suckers coming on. And let's see what happens. This is Fico Seco, and it's ripening quite a few. I had one yesterday. It's good. I'm not overly impressed with the flavor at this point. Seems to be coming on just about the same time as the Etnas. I've always called the Etnas early/mid-season, so I'm guessing maybe Seco might be the same. This is my Angelito. Had a lot of Brebas this year, dropped them all, and we've got some Maine on, and I don't think it's going to be one that will typically ripen the Maine consistently with good results here. What I do see is I see lignification all the way to the tips. I've pinched all of these to slow it down, and hopefully this is in ground for Breba. I'm going to give it a few years. If it doesn't consistently put out a good Breba crop, it will be gone. Now here's another very interesting tree. This is De Tres Esplet from Montserrat Ponds of 3 crops. And it will produce a Breba crop, which is supposed to be early for the Breba season. It will produce an early Maine, and sometimes if you have a long enough season, it will produce a second Maine crop, making that the 3rd crop of the season. Now, my tree has only been in ground 1 winter, and it set its figlets really late, probably 3 weeks later than my other trees, and I didn't think it was even going to set them. But guess what? It's going to ripen them, even setting it late because it's such a young tree. That's a really good sign. I had one of these yesterday, and my buddy up there at Fignorance and at Is Bliss, is his channel, Eric, has said this is fruit punch, and that's exactly what I tasted. Yesterday was fruit punch. Delicious fig. Unusual, not like everything else. Gris de Saint-Jean, St. John Gray. Didn't give me any Brebas. It's in ground for potential Brebas. And to me, it looks like, oh, maybe I'll get a main crop. But it seems fairly late for the main crop. This is Italian 376. Delicious Brebas this year. I've heard this is a late main crop. And look how small they are. Guessing it might be late. And beautiful lignification. This is what we're looking for on our trees that go in ground. We're looking for lignifications right up to the tip. And that means that it could withstand the colder temperatures in the wintertime. This is a Montserrat Ponds fig I put in ground for Breba called Belle Cole. Pond says that the Breba crop is better than the main crop on this one. So it just went in ground. And it looks like it's fairly well lignified. This is a spot I've had trouble with near my drainage, so we'll see We'll see how well it does. I can smell the apple tree. Just so many apples. The deer can't keep up with the apples. There's so many apples on that tree. It's snapping branches off. I've done a poor job of pruning it. This is one that just went in ground this year as well, but it's an older tree. This is called Joie Noire. And it's in ground for potential breba. It has a very late main crop, and it has a couple main it has thrown, and they're just so little. This won't ripen the main crop here unless it's a one-off type of a thing. We'll go over, look at my my persimmon. This is a Sajo, and it was a small tree last year when I got it. It was about 1 foot tall, and look at it now. So I've thrown a couple of these cages on the ground just to keep the bucks away from it. The bucks reach up, grab it, and they try to tear the branches off. I'm going to have to do that on another couple figs on my Ischia Black. I'm excited to show you that one this year. This is Beet Ramon. Looks a little yellow. Colder nights seem to be making the leaves start to get a little bit yellow. It had a wonderful breba this year. It's only been in ground one winter, and it is about 7 foot tall right now. It has main crop, but they really don't look like they're going to ripen. I'm guessing that this main crop might be too late for us. It's still very new in my orchard, so I'm not sure yet. That's Beet Ramon. Let's go over to Blava Flor. Another Montserrat Pons fig put in ground for potential breba. And I don't really know about the main crop on this. That one looks like it might be turning a little bit. We'll have to see. This one in ground for potential breba. So if I end up getting main on any of these, that's just a bonus. This is my Lampira Preta. It's a San Pedro variety. I've had really bad luck with this tree, but it looks like it might be turning the corner. It wants to put out just sucker after sucker after sucker. I took the cage off yesterday. You can see I took some of the suckers that were trying to come up off because I'm trying to keep it down to this number of suckers that I have. I think I have 6 in there. Pretty good. Nice lignification. This is one that died to the ground 2 years ago. I covered it with hay, and it came back. The tips died. Covered that with hay, and it's come back, and it's turning into a bush, finally. I can hear the crackle of tires on the gravel road that is adjacent to our property. I can hear a rooster in the distance. I can hear vehicles across the lake on the main road. The main road is across the lake. And just a nice light breeze this morning. Let's go by the apple tree. Well, I gotta admit, there were a lot of apples out here last night. And there's about maybe 25% of them left. So they are still working on these apples. It smells wonderful. This is pretty much an apple tree that we gift the apples to the deer. My neighbor called these horse apples, whereas my dad would have said hoss apples. That New Hampshire accent. This is a Bec de Perdue, beak of the partridge. It's from Montserrat Pons. I had massive cracking at the base, cut it out this year, and these suckers came back. They look fairly well lignified. We've still got a little more time for them to harden off, so let's hope they lignify the whole way. Heading up the hill. Vincenzo is next. Vincenzo put out some really incredible brebas this year. I'm seeing the main crop just like that. Looks like it's kind of aborting right there. No, not necessarily. That one might be coloring. I think this one over here is aborting. Let's see if I can reach it. No. So maybe coloring. Maybe I'll get a couple of the main crop. The main crop seems pretty late on Vincenzo for me so far. Got a couple nice suckers coming up. Got some serious cracking at the base, so this will become a bush eventually. We're going up the hill to Vertolino. Vertolino is another one. It made Breba for me this year, and it starts ripening the main crop early. It isn't the best tasting fig so far for me. Let's open one up. That's pretty. Let me smell this one. It's not spoiled. I just am not impressed with this as far as flavor so far. We'll see. Maybe give it more time. I'm pretty critical of my figs. All right, let's go down and look at Iranian Candy, another one that died back. I cut it out, and it is doing really well, coming back as a bush. No figs. I see one figlet on there that won't ripen, but trying to get it to become a healthy tree. Very unhealthy tree for me. Always put on terrible figs. And people say this is a good fig, but whew, not in my book. It's got to change. It needs to morph into something that's much better. This over here is a California seedling that I'm growing that's supposed to have a good Breba. It was one that was really struggling when it first went in, and looks really nice now. Grow, baby, grow. That's where I had my LSU Tiger. I took it out. I just wasn't impressed with it. This is Italian 258, gone in ground for Breba. Very, very late main crop. Almost looks like it wants to color one right there, though. So in this incredibly long growing season that we've had, and warmth has been abundant, I might actually get one of those. But you don't want to put that in ground for main crop. You don't really want to put any of the late mains in ground for main crop. Oh, you get to see something special. So yesterday, I picked the first main crop fig off of Ischia Black that I have ever picked. I split it in thirds, gave a half to my neighbor, or a third to my neighbor, rather, a third to my wife, and I had a third, and we were all so blown away. This was the best tasting fig I've had in ground in my life. So I'm in the process of bagging them up. We had rain the day before, so I was letting or actually yesterday, so I was letting the figs dry off before I put the organza bags on. But look at the size of these figs. Beautiful. So I hope to get a few more of these this week. This is a straight mid-season fig. So I am so happy thinking that maybe going forward I could get more and more of these. It's a wonderful fig, intense berry fig. Just it can go towards blackberry on the flavors. Incredible fig. Now I like my other ingrounds. I like Campanieri. I like Brown Sugar Crunch. I like my Etnas, but they don't taste like this. This is a step above, in my opinion. But remember, taste is subjective. We don't all have the same taste buds. I like the intense, sweet berry figs. That's my Grantham's Royal. It's starting to lose some leaves. I took a few off this morning. So I go in with my snips, and I'll just cut them about an inch, and then I'll wait, and I'll just let them fall off, or they'll come right off and clean the area where they attach. Now look at how white, or not white, rather clear, that drop coming off is. I just cut these. Doesn't look like latex. It just looks like water. Isn't that interesting? Later in the year, how they do that when the trees are starting to shut down. Grantham's Royal. Wonderful Brava. All right, let's go over to Black Creek Marius, another Etna. And ate several off of this yesterday. Shared several with my neighbor. And it's another Etna that's going to ripen the whole crop. Was just slightly behind the crows this year, so we'll see. Etnas are doing well. There's my Tia Pena. Very damaged at the base. I think that tree has to come out. It's unfortunate, but I rule the fig grove with an iron fist. This is the crows that I've been raving about. We've been just picking fig after fig after fig off of it. And a bunch more are ripening. Little bug there. Leave my figs alone. That's a strange looking bug. A little bit like a whitefly, but not totally. So I've bagged a few of these up. The birds are coming in and grabbing a few on occasion, and that's fine. This is the crow's mother tree. It started about a week to 10 days later, and it is just going nuts. Gonna ripen the whole crop. So Sangue Dolce, the two crows, and Black Creek Marius, my Etnas, will all ripen their complete crops. And let's go over to White Madeira number 1, another variety that I think I made a mistake by putting this in ground. It's a very late main crop fig. So you can see really nice figs. I've only ever had 2 of these ripen, and it was in October when it was wet. And I might get a few this year as well. Not a good choice. I put it in ground to experiment with Brava, but so far it has shut me down completely. This is improved Celeste. Not an improved grower for me. It's gone in ground 1 winter. It has just not done well for me. Yesterday we were picking a bunch of the red seedless grapes. They are wonderful this year. And my wife didn't take the leaves off to expose them to more sun, and they're still ripening great, and I don't think the birds are seeing them as well. But we've taken so many grapes off of here. These are so incredibly sweet and so delicious. Oh, look at that little group down there. Oh my gosh. I wish you could taste this. Great year for grapes. We're heading down the hill, so this is kind of my drainage area, and this side of the drainage, the trees haven't done that great. That Black Creek Marius, it's hanging in there. This year, my Ischia Black is doing well, but I think it would benefit by being up the hill in a drier place. I had Coldad Dama Blanca Negra right there. I took it out. Took LSU Tiger out right there. Took out Planera right there. So there's a theme here right through this drainage area. The trees don't do well. I would have never guessed that when I was putting them in. Let's look at Campaniere. So some of you know that I do have the oldest tree in the Willamette Valley. Started in 2019 when the cuttings just became available. This is just a great fig. And why I've been harping on the values of this fig is simply because it will ripen the whole crop, and they're just absolutely wonderful. This started ripening, let me think back, I believe it was August 23rd. First time I started ripening in-ground figs in August. Let's take a look at it. Tear it apart here. My neighbor loves this one. This is her favorite. So I gave her a couple yesterday and she was freaking out how good they were. Still a lot of figs on the tree. Wonderful tree. So I gifted this one, or cuttings of this one, to Mike Kincaid, and Mike is going to have his first taste of one really soon, which is exciting. You're going to like it, Mike. Look at the nice cracking on that big one. Delicious. Okay, that is Nikita's gift persimmon. First time ever with persimmons on it. And this is one that bucks want to just go after, so I just threw some cages on the ground to keep them away from it. Seems to be working. I'm going to have to do that with these Scale Black over there too. I don't want to lose any of those figs. That's such a great fig. And in ground, it just tastes maybe even a little bit better. This is Corky's Honey Delight, San Pedro. Wonderful Breba this year. I've picked off the main crop. So Corky's and Desert King will ripen the main crop, and I just don't like them. They're just not sweet enough. And the time that the main crop is coming on, there's still tons of great figs to eat. So my attitude with that is, why bother? This is by Pharaoh Zeus. My beast is resting, about to go to sleep for the winter. Great fig. And we're going to go over to Brown Sugar Crunch. Picked a bunch off of this yesterday, and they're delicious as always. And this is what you want them to look like. You want it to start hanging down. See the way that's hanging? When they start hanging down like that, and they start looking like this, that's about right. How good am I with my dexterity with one hand? Not that great, huh? There it is. Wonderful fig. I've eaten a lot of these. I'll just set this down and eat it later. I don't want to smack in your ear. I know there's a lot of people that really take offense to any kind of chewing sounds. Geez, I want to keep everybody happy here. Long Butte, Long of August. I've been complaining about this one this year. And yesterday, came over with my wife and my neighbor, and we pulled a couple figs off, and they were phenomenal. So, once again, this is the most inconsistent variety. When they're good, they are record good. That one yesterday was as good as any main crop I've had, except for Scale Black, this year. And some of the Bravas were pasty and stringy, and it's just so inconsistent what it does. Let's see. Yeah, here's one that's ripened. All right. And that's what that looks like. I'll just eat this little piece right here. Just incredible. So, the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde of all figs. As good as it can be, as good as a fig can be, as pasty and stringy as something that's horrible can be. Desert King, I've picked the main crop off. Once again, I'm not a main crop Desert King guy. They will ripen some. Even though it's a San Pedro, it will ripen, especially as your tree gets older. No thank you. And I did 5 cleft grafts this year. And very, very simple. You can see what they look like. There's the cleft right in there. And I was 5 for 5. So they didn't grow much. But I think this tree was a little water stressed during the year. So I'm very, very curious to see what happens as the time goes by and they break bud next spring, if they just start cranking like they're part of the tree and they've really, I don't know, melded into the actual tree. That's about all I have for you today. Been a great year. Still have a lot of questions, and that's the beauty of what I'm doing with experimentation. You know, I had a friend of mine came over and had Campanieri a couple years ago. He goes, "Why don't you just take all your trees out and put Campanieri?" I said, "Well, that's not what I want to do. I want to experiment. I want to find out what works. I want to come up with new things that work. And that's part of the joy of it for me. It's gardening, but it's experimentation at the same time. And I'm a straight shooter. I'm always going to report in what works, what doesn't, why I'm taking things out. And it doesn't mean if I take a variety out, like LSU Tiger, that doesn't mean that's not a great variety. I think if you're in certain parts of the country, that is a must-have tree. Here in the Willamette Valley, I'm not impressed. I was never totally impressed with the flavor. Ripening in a super dry climate versus other trees. And it never held the Brava crop for me. So it didn't work for me, but that doesn't mean it won't work for you if you're in Louisiana. It's probably fantastic. We just got buzzed, photobombed by some cute little birds. Stay away from my figs. I'm going to go up and look at them. What do you think you're doing? They are cute. They're looking for figs, I think. Find a different orchard. Leave my figs alone. That's one thing as I've been growing, I've been better about giving up part of the crop and not letting it bother me, you know, letting the birds get a few and other various critters get some figs. I'm okay with that now. I have so many figs that I get figged out. I mentioned that last year on a video. I started using the term figged out. I'm figged out. And it just happens to me when I eat so many figs, you know, I just, no more, please. I'm a little sensitive to figs if I eat them in massive quantities. And I think the sugar is not really that great for you if you just eat massive quantities all the time. So I try to watch my blood sugar levels. And I try to pay attention to what my body's telling me. And my body says, easy on the figs. You can only have a few today. And I listen to my body. Let's close with looking at Sangue Dolce, Italian sweet blood. And with that, we end another video. Thanks for hanging out. If you hang out for the whole video, you get bonus points. I always appreciate people that are subscribing and sharing my information. And a like along the way goes a long way. So I like a like. Take care now.